Construction champions, it's your host, Ron Newsbaum, and I'm here for another amazing episode of Construction Champions Podcast. Well, I like to say we're burning down the house just so we can rebuild it. And that's not just with your business, and that's not just with your life. That's with everything in the construction industry. We're here to become the champions we were meant to be. Yes, today I'm fired up, we're ready to rock and roll. I have Michael. We'll go with Mike. Well, I have Michael with me today. He's a great guy. He has been doing websites and digital marketing for over 13 years. This dude's going to bring some fire today. He specializes in helping service-based businesses. Michael, it is fantastic to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, Ron. Dude, that was the best intro I have ever seen. I have literally been on so many podcasts, and that was literally one of the best I've ever seen. So kudos to you for that.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you. Here on Construction Champions Podcast, we like to bring the heat and rock and roll and have some intent with what we're doing and make sure we have energy, man. So what I want to know is, what are you most excited about what you're doing right now?
Yeah, dude, great question. I'm super stoked on, so like you said, we do custom websites and digital ads for clients, and I just love it. Like, I've been doing it for, 10 plus years, and we create really awesome custom websites. Like, we go through a whole website process for our clients and really bump up the conversion rates and everything on their websites and everything. So that's awesome. And then the digital ad space, like, I always just love that game because, for me, being able to work with my clients closely and get them results is like the best experience for me. So continuing to scale that, continuing to, have awesome clients work with us. And that's what I'm excited about.
Awesome, man. I love it. Digital marketing can be exciting to the right person. So I love it. Well, we're going to jump right in there. I'm going to ask you the $1 million question, which is, what makes a construction champion?
Yeah, I think, I've been thinking about this a little bit as we signed up for this podcast. And I think what makes a construction champion is, I think it's someone or a company that has all their ducks in a row, right? And so it's pretty easy to have a website or have some branding or, maybe do mailers or try some digital ads or something. But the ones that really nail it out of the park, those are the ones that are the champions about it. Like, they're the ones that have the really nice branding, the one that stands out from everyone else. The ones that have, customer or prospect comes to your website and it is a really good experience. They have that, perceived value there of like, hey, this, contractor company can do my work really well. And I want to pay that, a higher rate. I think the other thing too is like the champions have like, hey, let's collect that, that contact information on the website. Let's send them, through an email drip campaign and get them videos and all that kind of stuff and get them through the sales process. I think that is what makes a construction champion.
I love it. You said some really key things in there, but one of the takeaways for me is you use the word try as not what a champion does, because I think all too often, especially in the construction industry, we tend to we'll have our feet in the water here, we'll try this, and we don't necessarily get that overall, what you're talking about is that overall grand scheme of things that just all works together. How do we start to get through that to where we don't just have our feet in a bunch of different putters and we're pulling it in and out?
Yeah. No, it's a great question. And I think the answer to that is you have to go into your customer's head, right? So like, what's their journey that they're taking? And when I say that is like, when you think of a company like Apple or something, like you see them and you automatically know you're going to get a good experience with that. And they're all over the place, right? And, I'm sure they're on a smaller scale. I'm sure there's like an HVAC company or a plumber or someone like that in your area that they have the trucks, they have the billboards. You go on Facebook, you're seeing a nice ad. You go to their website, you get hit with a retargeting ad. You're Googling their name or Googling plumbing or something like that. You're getting hit with their ad. And I think that's where it comes down is like, okay, how, like, we need to be there, but it's all tied together with the branding and the website. And I think, if someone's starting from zero or like, hey, how can I get to that point? The hierarchy that I put things is, make sure your branding is good, but then we need to focus on your website. Like, that's your digital presence. And when you drive traffic to your website, how are you collecting their contact information? Do you have pixels on there so you can retarget them later if you want to with ads? And then on top of that, once you get your website done, how are we driving the right traffic to you, right? I just got off the phone yesterday with a contractor, and he's like, hey man, like, I have my marketing budget and I spend it on a billboard and a sign in a baseball stadium, right? Fine, that's great, but like, that's, to me, like, that's a secondary or third level of your sales, because when you're thinking about the customer journey, if someone's looking for a contractor or someone's looking for a service-based company, the main areas they're going is Google. And they're going to be typing that in. They're going to be, contractor near me, or construction person near me, or construction company near me. And that's where you want your ad to be right at that exact time. And so if you're just starting out, the main areas I would focus on is, hey, make sure your branding's good. Make sure you have a really awesome website. And then let's focus in on those Google ads, because that's where your hot leads are going to be.
I love it. And then what you're talking about, you bring up billboards and baseball sponsorships. I'm sure a lot of our listeners out there are just all too familiar with that. I have a marketing budget. What do? You go sponsor a softball or a little league team. And it's pretty amazing. And what exactly comes from that? To me, that's like long-term branding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how you become. When you talk about that person in your neighborhood, like, that's how you become that person that has that experience. So that apple of your town, but you have to have a foundation to be able to become that. Like, Apple just didn't become Apple just overnight because they went and ran a bunch of ads. Like, there was a foundation that was laid.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that's the thing too, is I'm not sitting here saying, hey, don't do the baseball or billboard, or just a billboard on the side of the road. I think the problem is there people put the cart before the horse, like, if you have if you have your marketing budget, you're gonna get the best bang for your buck doing Google ads, mainly because, like I said, during the customer journey, people are coming to Google to find your stuff. But once you get that dialed in, your business is growing. Yeah, expand. Let's get the wraps on your cars. Let's get those billboards going. Because then what happens is, let's start running Facebook ads. Like, what happens with that is that starts to get you brand awareness. And so then when someone's coming to Google, it's at that added level of, okay, well, I'm seeing them on Google, but there's also that brand awareness now. And let's not go for the brand awareness right away, because that's not going to get you the quick marketing dollars. So
yeah, it doesn't necessarily close deals right away.
Yeah.
You need to have somewhere to funnel that stuff. And you talked about a little bit, like, having the systems in place to be able to drive that traffic in. How are we collecting the data? That's stuff that fascinates me, because I think not just in the construction industry, but just about every industry, we don't do a good enough job of thinking about how do we collect customer data when they come to our website. Yeah, it can be a real problem.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's the big thing is, so like, something that we're going to be coming out with soon is we're going to be doing a sales course that we offer when you do like an ad package with us. So we like manage clients' ads every single month. And basically you're going to get a sales course with trainings in it. And the reason we have that is it's going to teach you how to deal with the sales calls and everything that come in. And you can have an awesome website, right? But if you're not collecting their information, there's no point to that awesome website, or if people aren't, if you're not closing that sale, like, there's no point to that awesome website. And so, a lot of times what can happen or what should happen is people, fill out the contact information or request an estimate, or, just come to your website in general. And you want to get them into an email drip campaign, because, like, there are people that might not sign up with you right now, need to go talk to their husband about the budget or whatever. and you need to continue to be rising up in their minds, especially in their email inbox. If you have the budget, like Facebook retargeting ads, all that kind of stuff, so that it's always top of mind and that you can ultimately close those deals. But again, that's another like secondary thing compared to, hey, let's get these customers that are on Google, that have the budget, that are ready to go, and let's get them to our website and close them. So
yeah, it's you see how you use terminology around Google. So I've learned so much doing this podcast from guys
yeah,
like just professional guys that are pros that do this for a living like yourself. And when you say that, because I didn't used to think about how Google is when somebody Googles you, it's somebody that wants to do business with you right now. Like I
yep,
didn't ever
yep.
put that differentiator in there about how powerful Google ads and can be in your area, because those are people that are directly looking for you.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy too is there's always the debate of SEO and SEO is search engine optimization to get your website to pop up organically without running ads. So there's always the debate between SEO and ads. And we used to do SEO for clients. And the reason we stopped doing it is for a couple of reasons. One, like back when we used to, SEO was a lot more predominant than the ads are now. But now, like when you're looking up a service-based company, you have Google local services ads, you have Google search ads, then you have Google My Business. And then like the 10th spot down is maybe the SEO. And so I'm not saying you shouldn't be optimizing your site for that stuff, because ultimately you want to be in all four spots. But if you have an advertising budget or marketing budget, like those first two spots are where you want to be. So the Google local services ads or the Google search ads. So
Well, at the end of the day, Google's a business just like everything else. So they're going to figure
yeah.
out how it's fascinating how they do everything. You live in that word, but
Mm-hmm.
it fascinates me. And it really can be, I don't want you, I guess, use the word manipulated, if that's a good word to use or not, but you really can, if you understand it, create an environment where you thrive.
Correct. Yeah. And like I said, like it all comes back to what's the customer's journey. So like let's say, Sarah is looking for, a construction company, right? She's gonna go to Google or potentially Bing, but 99% of the time going to Google, and she's gonna be typing in, construction company near me. What you want to happen is you want that ad showing up right there. And again, like that's a hot lead. She probably already has her budget put together, or she's pretty close to getting that budget put together, and she knows what she wants. So you need to be bringing that lead in. And that's the difference too between like Facebook ads and Google ads is, again, think of the customer journey. A lot of times when someone's on Facebook or Instagram, like they're hanging out, they're scrolling through, they're watching Netflix. They're not in the headspace of, hey, I need a construction company right now. They might be like, oh, I had a conversation with my spouse like 2 weeks ago about this, or this is something we've been kind of throwing around. So I'll just get a free estimate, and that's fine. Collect those leads. But like, if you're like, hey, I got this marketing budget or advertising budget and I need to get hot leads, Google's the way to go. The other thing too, that's cool is, so they have Google local services ads, and they're only for like specific service-based companies. But they focus on doing calls. And what happens is if someone clicks that ad and calls in and it doesn't convert into a lead, or it was someone looking for a completely different company or something, you can dispute that with Google and get that advertising dollars back. So there's a lot of really cool things like that too, where it's like, Google is working with you too to get those people. So
Is that something new? I mean, I've not heard of the local, what you're talking about. Is that something
yeah.
relatively new?
Yeah, they came out with it in like 2015, but only for like a certain amount of companies. And now they're starting to really expand it. So it's basically, if you search like construction company near me or something, you can see like 3 or 4 little cards at the top that have like the company's name, and it has like 5 stars. It'll say like sponsored next to it. And that's that first section. And so that's the Google local services ads. And then below that are the Google search ads. And that looks more like it's an SEO type thing, but it still says sponsored next to it. So
Awesome, man. Well, that's fantastic information. I do want to ask, since you're on these websites all the time, you build them. What are a few things that are pretty common within the construction industry when it
Yeah.
comes to building bad websites.
Yeah. So, okay. First thing, getting your cousin or friend or buddy to do it. And I'm not just saying that because we build custom websites, but the problem with that is they don't have the background, or they might be starting out, and that's cool, but if you're serious about your business and you want to be a champion about your business, you got to invest the dollars into getting a really nice website. It's like, for example, it's like going on Facebook Marketplace and buying the really beat up truck. And you're like, cool, I got a truck for my projects. Or you can get the high end one. It's going to last you a while and get you a lot of good results. So that's the first thing. The second thing is having the understanding of the customer journey. Again, I'm just going to keep saying it, but like the understanding of the customer journey. So like when they come to your website, like how are we funneling them in to get that free estimate? Or how are we making it easy for them to find your phone number? Or how is it easy to track them, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people miss out on that. So that's another big piece. The third piece too is mobile optimization. A lot of people don't have a good mobile optimized site, which is crazy right now, but a lot of people don't. And then the fourth thing is, and I would say this is almost the most important, is the perceived value of it, right? And what I mean by that is when you're coming and looking at a website, we as humans, we know what's a good looking website and what's not, but as a designer, I know there's tweaks to it that we can put in, like showing someone smiling on a project is a lot more psychologically effective than showing like a picture of your truck or a bulldozer, So like there's stuff like that and how colors play into it. There's a reason, there's a reason Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, KFC, Wendy's, they're all red, right? There's psychology behind those colors, So there's a lot of that kind of stuff that plays into it that I would say is super important, but that again goes into why you need to have that, like an expert doing your website.
Yeah, it's amazing what's out there. When I get to be on a lot of contractors and builders websites with just what I do, and I'll tell you, they run the mill from really, really good to like I could probably put something better together. That's not what I do. Like if you go on constructionchampionspodcast.com, like I put that together on GoDaddy. Like it's not there to do a whole lot other than just to get people information to what we do. But you really see the wide range. And I think you brought up something that's very important is when we talk about the stuff being able to be used mobilely. Because if it's not, where are most of your customers looking at your content?
Exactly. And I think, so I forget the data, the most recent data off the top of my head, but majority of people are using their mobile device to see the websites, and sure, maybe your website might be mobile optimized because you have it designed on Wix or something and it naturally does that. But there's stuff where it's like, okay, well, before there's a scroll, like, are they able to request a quote? Are they able to click a phone number? Are we tracking that phone number? What color is that phone number? All that kind of stuff. How does the background image line up on a mobile device? There's all those types of little things that play into it, and sure, you could have a mobile optimized site, but if you're not thinking about the customer journey of, okay, this person just came off of an ad or came off of Google or came off Facebook, now they're on my site on a mobile device. How are they interacting with it? And I mean, if you have your own website right now, try it. Pull it up on your own phone and see how easy it is to get to the phone number. See how easy it is to find the request and estimate. You'll know psychologically, like, okay, if this is easy or not, like, so yeah, definitely try those kind of things, because I mean, that doesn't allow you to get super deep with the background experience and stuff, but like, at least at the surface of it allows you to understand those things, like, how easy is it to call my company,
I love that. I think that's a great exercise for everybody to go do, because I don't have any data. I'll pull this number out of thin air. As I figure probably 90% of people on their phone on Google when they click that to go to your website, they're staying on their phone. What does that experience look like at that point in time?
Exactly. And that's why, like, when we design all of our sites, like, we focus on the mobile side pretty heavily because it looks cool on desktop, but like majority of people are using it on a mobile device.
Yeah, I don't think most people are, I don't know how many people. I'm probably one of the old dogs that use a desktop and laptop for
Yeah.
almost everything, but I think we do need to focus and make sure. I love the challenge that you're talking about to go out and go to your company's website. Like, what does it feel like? Because you will know, either call bullshit on yourself or not. Like, one of the two,
Exactly.
it's either good or not.
Exactly. And it's funny too, like we'll get clients that reach out to us and they're like, hey, we want to run Google ads with you or Facebook ads. Cool. But like we'll review their website, you know, because we have a whole process when we do our digital ads. We have clients fill out a questionnaire form. We do background research on their competitors, on their website, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes there are clients where we have to go back and say, listen, like we can't move forward unless we redo your website because we just know you're not going to be getting the results, you know? So that's a huge thing. I just looked it up, 60%. That's what I thought. 60% use mobile, you know, roughly. So there's other like factors that go into it, but like, you know,
Well, I mean, you
60%.
gotta just have that game, and that completely makes sense because with your business and what you do, like if you drive good traffic to a bad product, it's going to make you look bad. So like making sure that it's something that can get that end result, get where everybody wants to go. I mean, that's who of you to be doing something like that and having that understanding.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said too, like in auditing your stuff, like you're gonna like you know who the competitor is in your area that's crushing it, and you know why. You know, we don't need to sit here and tell you why. You know why. So like, how do you step it up to that level? You know, through this stuff.
Absolutely, man. You dropped a lot of knowledge today, a lot of great things. I love it. For the construction champions out there, if they wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, follow you, or just be involved with what you have going on, what's the best ways for them to do that?
Yeah, you can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. It's Mike Tandarich on there. I know I have a difficult last name, so so I also threw out my phone number. So my phone number is 484-473-4717. If you have questions on this stuff, text me. I'm happy to answer. It's my personal phone number. So text me and I'm happy to answer any questions. You can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. And then my marketing agency website, I'm sure this will be in the show notes and stuff, but that's tandrichgroup.com. So, but check out the show notes because I'm not going to spell
it. Awesome, man. Well, thank you for taking the time and educating us and dropping some fire on what we need to do to make sure our websites convert when people come there.
You got it, man. Yeah. I mean, I could talk about this for hours. So yeah, if anyone has questions or want their sites reviewed, I'm more than happy to do it.
Awesome, man. So construction champions, have you already went to your website and taken a look to see how quick you can get a phone number or reach out to somebody? It's probably surprising. And, one thing we used to do is we would go do something like that and then we would call and see what that customer experience looked like or that customer journey. I love that Mike uses the customer journey and talks about that so much. Brian Chesky from Airbnb, he talks a lot about that. And if you have never watched his video on the customer journey, I highly recommend it. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's something that I used to use in operations meetings almost quarterly when we talked about our customer journey and what does that look like. What Mike does is it's the very first touch. It's the very first opportunity you have to make an impression on your customer. It could be a 0 or it could be a 10. In a split second on their mobile device, that is the opportunity that you have along that customer journey right there. And we need to be present to what's happening. What does that look like? Are we the leader or are we the last person that comes up? When people click on our ad, what do they get? This is stuff you have to be able to remember. And are we collecting the data? These are important things that separate you from not just a winner and a loser, but makes you a champion for that customer. You should be creating a championship customer journey for every customer that comes through, whether they buy or not. Because even if they don't buy or they're just shopping, let's say they come to your website because they're just looking, but they have an amazing experience, that's going to stick with them. And you don't know who they're going to talk to next and what that could lead to for business. So, Construction Champions, make sure you take time to connect with Mike. Make sure you go to constructionchampionspodcast.com. Check out all of our great sponsors, our partners, and people that help keep this show rocking and rolling. Make sure you go to Facebook, join our free mastermind group where we're connecting our listeners with the guests, and we're creating a word of collaboration where we come together and we help each other get to that outcome that we want, and that's being a champion. So until next time, go be the champion you were meant to be. Hey, Construction Champions, it's your host, Ron Nussbaum here, and I want to talk to you about how you can automate all of your marketing. We've had so many people on here talk about getting the systems in place. Well, we have partnered with Build 12 and Construction Champions podcast. Les O'Hara, the founder, what really excites me is his 30 years in the industry. And now he's built a system to be able to nurture your leads and continue to utilize that. I personally use the system myself. Build 12 is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of value in there, and it's a way to start getting away from Angie's List and all of that kind of stuff and start actually creating your own leads every day and have a system for them. So go on our website, check out the show notes, go check out Build 12 and what it can do for the front end of your business today. It's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend going and meeting with Les and his son, Devin, and talking to him about what they built for their own business so the rest of the industry can take benefit from that. Here on Construction Champions, we're all about helping each other out. And what is better than contractors helping contractors? I say nothing. So let's go take this to the next level. Go check out Build 12. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Les or his son, Devin. We're here to help. We want to continue to grow the industry.